Greetings. Once again, this is Grandmaster Amon Ra coming to you from Mombasa, Kenya, where I've spent 21 or 22, people are saying 22, 1 years, December 1996. 21 years, 22 years in modern Africa, visiting several African countries, as well as making friends and relations with Africans since 1986. This channel is dedicated to individuals that want a different perspective from the source. We get a lot of things that are out there. I shouldn't say the word things. We get a lot of misinformation out there that guides us the wrong way. And I'm here today to dispel, expose and redirect your thinking on a lot of the negative propaganda that's out there today. Now, the name of this show is The Dark Side of Delusion. Now, the dark side of delusion means that there is some serious consequences when you have been delusioned or when you're delusional. So having people that are under a certain mindset, which doesn't make any sense or which doesn't come to anything that I would say anything positive, I would say that you have to really look at yourself and say, am I going down the right road? Am I been given the proper information that I need to make an intelligent decision? And a lot of times we're not given that opportunity. Troy DeSoli, how are you? Black Power family, how are you, man? And Zinga, how are you? I'm all here. African Tigress, my sister. Hope you don't hate me about the Chinese thing. This O'Shea is just causing us trouble. Young Tin again, thank you for coming. Lady again. Gonna have trouble with the line. Our greatest enemy is Western mass media propaganda. That is what I want to impress upon you. And I know that I have to repeat it many times. And if some people who know me from way back in Dynasty days in 2016, the first thing I told him on his show was that the greatest enemy of the black man was Western mass media news and propaganda. It has made us delusional. There is no reason why we should be in the condition that we are in, either in Africa or in the United States. There's no reason for us to be in the condition that we're in, except for the fact that they are brainwashing us. When I say they, who do I mean? Western interests. When I say Western, what do I mean? I mean those people who are in charge of a system of control in the Western Hemisphere. Make no mistake about it. Europe and the United States followed right behind them, built their powers based on control. And both Europe and the United States stole from Africa so that they could build up their societies. Yeah, they're coming into the line quick. Lance Kelly, greetings. Roberta Green, hello, how are you? Kwaku Black, salute again, GM. You'll get my donation soon. Okay, bro. And I want to put that up. Should I do this early? Somebody said I shouldn't do this early. But I'm gonna do this early now so you guys can see. Uh, yes, they're after us. I know it's a small channel, but they are already trying to stop us. I won't discuss it in this show, but yeah. If I was on Patreon, I would be off Patreon very quick. If I had Super Chat, they would block that thing very quick. That don't care to have my message be. Give another shout out to Chris Hamilton. I know who he is now. And Evalyne Bellini. I'm wrong. Bellini. I was practicing and I got it. I keep messing it up. I keep getting it right. But anyway, the queen of the channel because she was the first woman to support the channel. And of course, Dante, Doran Tate is out there, and Morelli. I'm trying to get you guys names. Molden, Morelli Molden. You guys have been consistent in supporting the channel, and you guys out there. Part of our problem is that when it comes down to supporting something that's dealing with action, we tend to do non-action. When it comes to supporting with money, we tend to not be. Where in other groups, they quickly fund people. So in that Trayvon Martin case, Trayvon Martin was given very little money, but Gickerman or whatever his name was, he did a GoFundMe and made millions. People supported him, non-blacks. So what we're gonna do about that? You know what we can do? We can show them that we can support what we want to support. It's non-conventional because this is not a conventional channel. Good morning, Black Global Family. How are you? Black Beauty. Okay, now I got to see a picture. So anyway, the greatest weapon of the West, and I need you people to understand this, because the campaign against the Chinese that's going on right now is just one in hundreds of propagandas, missions that these people put out to sway the people's thinking. The greatest weapon of the West is propaganda. Now, if propaganda was a weapon, all you people be dead by now. All you people, I didn't say but some, no, all you people be dead. I'd be dead with you. Because how many times have we been given information and we really want to believe it without having to investigate? We trust the source. And it's to our detriment, our psychological detriment. When we start trusting what we read on the news, then we tend to not only, taking action is the extreme horrible part, but we tend to form an opinion based off what this propaganda has put in our minds. And 99 times out of 100, that information is geared towards pro-Western interests and anti-African and anti your own country. Because it just make me want to slap somebody. Here, you got Kenyans in the country. The best part, the most economically strong country in the East African community, and then you got some Kenyans talking about Kenya's all messed up. If Kenya's messed up, my God, what's wrong with you? Can imagine if now Kenya is #1 economy in the East African community. It's got all kind of awards for being the best African. It's the center of the United Nations got headquarters here. Google got headquarters here. You see, many major companies have headquarters in Kenya. And the Kenyan is here saying Kenya's all messed up. There's no jobs. There's this. Oh, there's crime. And I'm like, come on. You don't know what crime is. But I know the real thing. I was brought onto a group. Somebody saw me on the field show, and they called me and they said, "Sir, we didn't know you was like this, and we're glad to meet you." These young Kenyans. Oh, we want to learn from you. Oh, please come to our group and be part of our group. Okay, fine, put me on the group. Bam. I'm seeing the group name. I'm like, I've been on that group already, and I had to remove myself from the group because they had too many people joking and playing in the content. So I told them right away, I'm not going to be the one to joking. They said, okay, fine, we're going to watch out that. I told the administrators got to do their job. They said, okay, fine. First message that came up: Chinese is taking over the port of Mombasa. Somebody posted. First thing I see, they got a container ship, picture of a container ship, and then the headline is, the Chinese are going to take over the Mombasa port. No story, just a headline. No story, just the headline. That sinks into the back of our mind. Why? Because we don't have anything to combat it. Now, this is the problem. Oh, you sent a super chat. Then you're going to hear this thing ring, and you will know that it's you, dollar bill. This is the problem. What they do is they bombard the internet. This is how you can tell it's fake news. First thing first. So there's so many people that don't understand. First thing first. Every fake news, they got all these different news articles. People are all saying the same thing. Right there, you should be suspect. You see it being picked up by all. You look at the address of the whatever news station or online news thing it is, and you see, like, I've never heard of that before. That's the way you can know it. Right there, that's the red flag. This might be propaganda. So when you see it, of course, some of you are quick. You go Google, and then you start seeing like different sites saying the same thing. When they say the same exact headline over and over, even though it's different agencies, that's propaganda. Because these lazy motherfuckers, they don't want to change the wording every time. So they put the same wording, and then they just pass it on to other different online news sites you've never seen before. Now that's how you can start to see that this might not be true. Now you can also go to these other sites, Real Deal and all these other sites that tell you if it's fake news or not, and you can learn from that. But here we had this thing with the Chinese, and the people are saying the Chinese are going to take over the port of Mombasa. The president of Kenya was confronted with journalists, and journalists was foaming at the mouth. I have put this on my Facebook website so you can see it. And see if you want to look. I mean, some of you guys know you too trustworthy. You find someone you want to trust, and then you hang with them and you just believe them. But if you trust me, you're in the right place. I'm just saying. But I'm saying I'm also putting the information out there if you want to go check for yourself. So on the Black Man's website, you'll see President Uhuru confront this whole issue. Journalists ask him, is Mombasa port being in danger of taken over by the Chinese? And then you can see his response. The problem is that they continually bombard with the same thing 25 times. But the speech with the president debunking all of this, you only see it once or twice. You may not, you probably won't, you probably miss it. And this is when you know it's propaganda. The rebuttals will only come once or twice, but they can put the same thing 500 times. The same negative propaganda 500 times until you just can't help it, because, repeat, and you have no thinking involved. Because you just hear it every time and then you think it's true. This is dangerous, my people. This is the dark side of delusion. That we have to watch out for, especially in the coming years now, because things are happening that's making a big change. You're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose. You're going to have to either choose the United States or you're going to have to choose Africa. I'm talking about the people in the diaspora. I'm talking about Black Americans. You're going to have to choose. Why do I say you gotta choose? How come you can't be for both? I love America, I love Africa. Because one is against the other, my friend. One is against the other, and one has no future for you or your children. But they are trying to pretend and make you believe that they do, using propaganda. Now, when I talk like this and I start telling you you've been brainwashed, what you see, the first reaction of your mind is denial. That's not true. I'm not brainwashed. The second reaction of your mind is anger. God damn that Rod, he's a piece of bullshit. The third is sadness and reflection. The fourth is acceptance. And I have had my share of people coming to me later down the line saying, what you said is true. But I have had more people who denied and called me names one day, and then the next day they like my strongest follower and believer. They didn't never tell me I'm sorry I did say that. They just switched, and that's okay too, because the truth hurts. Quaker Black, salute again, Jim. You're getting my donation. Thank you, bro. Black Day, good morning. Yeah, dollar bill. Thank you. Habari, Mr. Ramin Ra. Ajiba, how are you, man? See that Ajiba is one of my supporters. You know Ajiba. Thank you for the super chat you gave, man. But you know it's got to be on a regular basis. I'm sorry to say. Yeah. So, once a month, once a week. But don't let it just be a one-time thing. Like I paid my $5 now. Let me watch the show for the rest of it. No, we need support for the channel on a consistent basis. And I know you're going to do that. So I don't have to even say anything else about it. Sun Temple, that's a new one. I choose Africa. Yes. Thank you, in the right place. Regina Africana. Okay, I guess I know what you choose. At the end of the day, I'm choosing Mama Africa. Yes. Mama Africa. I like that. Troy DeSoli again. America, Britain, France, Germany, and Israel are professional at making up this propaganda against the masses of the people. Well, man, we should switch places. Come on over here and sit in this chair, man. Shoot, you got it right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Educate me. That's exactly what I've been trying to tell these people. But I'm saying you're fighting the psychological imprint of the mind. You see? So when I see I'll get into this story. Yeah, you're fooling with people's brains, but it has to be said. So I'm saying, which side you can choose? Okay, you have to choose one side or the other. Now, if you're going to be choosing, are you going to be a field Negro or are you going to be a house Negro? So you say, I'm going to be a house Negro. So right now, you house Negroes, what are the house Negroes doing in the United States right now? Right now, they're choosing a camp. They're choosing the Takreek Nashir's camp for the FBA, Foundation of Black America. They don't want us to do this show. I'm like, okay, it's back again. Can you speak on what will happen to the U.S. and the U.K. economies in the near future? I'm doing a lot of research on that, Kwaku. I'm doing a lot of research. And what I like to do is come from the opposite side. I try to not believe it's true and then work it from what they say. And what I'm seeing is definitely there's going to be a problem based on the history. I'm old, so I can see the pattern. Based on what I'm seeing and my understanding of America and all these economy things, the U.S. is struggling to keep the economy afloat until after Trump is reelected. So right now, I'm under the mindset that this is going to drag on. The economy part of it is going to drag on until after 2020, And then if Trump, especially if Trump is reelected, we're going to see some major problems. Captain Black America, what's that? I think this is something about Dynas. Captain Black America is going to be pleased that we don't want to stay and fight. The same old saying, our ancestors' bones are here. Well, the bones are in Africa. That's right. Whatever they say about where I built America, just remind them that they also built Africa before they was kidnapped, beaten, and enslaved to build those American houses that they claim that they still. You know, I mean, come on. We built America. Please, when we was enslaved, 99% of the buildings that were built in slavery time are no longer up. So what part are you talking about? That, I mean, what you gonna do? You can't even, the White House even got burned down. It's not even the same White House. Oh yeah, the White House was burned down. The British came in and burnt that shit down. But they kept that shit out of history. They didn't repeat that in propaganda 500 times. They just want you to forget about that. People are talking about the United States is too powerful. For Light 72, you are going to have to substitute some of your words with other words because of the Google algorithm. Oh, we'll keep messing with your show. Okay, somebody that knows something, huh? Is that it? I'm gonna have to substitute some words. You see? Well, S Light 72, I just want you to know, for those of you, if you're new to the show, this channel is always being bogged and dogged with issues. Sometimes it's not, but on the good shows, they cut me off big time. So anyway, I'm talking about Takreek and Antonio Moore, and I'm just saying that we have to just take a step back and look, because obviously, even by the title of their movements, where they're talking about staying and banking and investing and continuing the same situation in the United States. Okay, the Creek is saying we're going to get all these groups together and we're going to have a discussion, and the discussion is going to be about what? What they did to us? Okay, he done did enough here. Well, he don't know what he is on Hidden Colors number 4 or 5 now. He done did enough of look what they done to us. Them shows, look what they done to us. You know, he made a lot of money off of look what they done to us. And people make a lot of money off of talking about what they did to us. Now, I'm talking about what we can do for ourselves while we still got time. ADOS is saying, hold on, we're going to get some money. Do you know how long it's going to take before, even if you start now? How many people remember the Civil Rights Bill of 1964? Do you remember that? There was one in 64 and there's one in 68 after King was assassinated. But did you know there was one in 1875 where they said equal transport for blacks? What happened? They put it out there, and then after a few years, they removed it. It was just used to appease people at the time, like a political thing, you know, for the party to get reelected. Look what my party did for you. I think the truth is that many Negroes still have their masters and never want to admit just how good they are. That's why I like going on live. And Craig Coop, make sure you always come on the show, man. If we're not talking about nation building, it's bullshit. Exactly. That's what I want to talk to you about at the end of this show. But at this thing about the masters, we all, black people, most of us work for the white man in the United States. I don't work for him anymore. I haven't worked for him since 1992. But most of us got some sort of connection with the white man. And we have to watch what we say, watch what we do. Otherwise, we don't have a chance. Now, if you're a house Negro, you can be a field Negro, but you're still a house Negro. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you're still working in the field for the white man, but you're looking for that opportunity to go to the big house and be with the white man inside the house. And you looking, and he knows, this is the thing you don't understand. You think he's stupid. He know you want to get into the big house, and he gonna exploit that, exploit you too. He knows you want to get there. The white man knows we want to be, the house Negro wants to be with him and up under his armpit, sitting next to him. You know, he knows this. I was watching about segregation in the South, and they did segregated Alabama. They tried to do the same thing with Mississippi. And Mississippi, they'll kill you if you uppity nigga, you'll be killed. And so they were showing how freedom riders and everybody came from the South. I mean, from the North, and including Goodman and the other the white boy and the two white boys and the black guy they murdered. They all came from the North and came into the South. And they started, trying to, free the lunch counters and all that in Mississippi. So when I did the research thoroughly, I found that blacks in Mississippi didn't participate in all of the marching and all of the freedom struggle in Mississippi. And whites was using that as a reason why they were saying the niggas is good. They happy in Mississippi. They like the situation that we put them in. You see? So when you press the white man saying equal, he tells you the blacks can do, we don't want them with us. They can do their own thing over there. And we do our thing over here. We're gonna have separate schools over here, they can have separate schools over there. But what they didn't say was that they make sure that black enterprise and jobs were destroyed. So it would force blacks to come work for the white man during the day. So the white man was saying you can have your own separate things over there, but you still got to come mow my lawn, paint my house, tote my goods from the warehouse to the truck and back and forth. That's what they expected you to do. But you're going to be equal with them. They're going to be the ones that sell you the food and everything, but you equal with them. No, man. The more I look at the thing, the more I see like that's bullshit. Decima, you guys giving me these hard names. Juma Ann, I think this is a Kenyan. Tumani, that's Swahili. Agree. We need to move forward. The history doesn't go away, and sorry to say, some of the people will have to be sacrificed because of lack of knowledge and understanding. Okay, I don't want the channel to black, but I agree with you. Some people probably would have to be sacrificed, or we have to circle the wagons. We have to circle the wagons. And that is my point. When I start talking to you about the camp, I'm reminding you that we need to circle the wagons. We can't be expecting all blacks to come in, everybody come in. No, we all people that are right-minded, same-minded thinking. Whether we wrong or right, we together. If you want to contribute to the channel, we don't use Patreon here because they're going to put it on my taxes, and I know they'll use that against me one day soon. I don't want to go back to the U.S. and they tell me you got to pay taxes. You back taxed. So this is the best way to do it. If you go to Patreon, I have to fill out a 1099 form, and that's not going to happen. If I have to open a super chat, I have to have a bank in the U.S. Unless African Tigress can tell me how she did it. So without an American bank account. Young Ten again, they will give us reparations when our numbers dwindle down to around numbers of the Native Americans. The fear of the white man is that the fear of the Southern, I don't know if it's the Southern or, the ultimate fear, Francis Cress Wilson has explained. What is behind all of this not wanting to be equal, all this economics oppression and sabotage of the black man in America? Well, we don't want them to be equal with us. But what is the real base reason? It's the fact that we can genetically destroy them. So as long as you got one, they gonna have fear when they see you. So they dwindle our numbers down, and we still oppressed, like run around like American Indians, drunk and high on cocaine and heroin. That's a shame. And we'd be looking back at our history and see that's what came of us. That would be terrible. I don't think a lot of black people want to get in the big house. Jesse Jackson is an example of someone who act like he was for the people and he really wanted to be in the big house. Jesse Jackson ran for president in 1984. Run, Jesse, run. Yeah, you must be around my age. Nzinga, you can do MT Mobile. Okay, MT Mobile is not in Kenya. So it's not about I don't think it's about the line because I don't have this problem all the time I only have this problem when I'm talking to you at this time. I almost forget about this issue of the phone because I never have a problem outside of when I'm talking to you people live. Most of us just wanted to descend a decent life. Yeah. Then Jesse got tired of push the sun and hard and had the nervous breakdown. Yeah. Can you imagine Jesse Jackson is a house Negro, and then at the end of the day, he got to watch his son go to jail. God damn. I just looked at that and said, you see, that's another classic. I remember that. It's a classic example of, Ashley, I can't, you sent the message, I couldn't see it. A classic example of why staying in America is not the option. It leads us nowhere. And that's what I'm saying about the Creek and ADOS. It's just another one of these movements that's going to be saying we're going to settle. And then what? They give every black, they can't give you no more than about 100,000. That's just calling it too much right there. So every 15 million blacks qualify and they get $100 million. The government going to tax you. If you win the lotto, let somebody here tell the truth. When you win the lotto, if you gonna pay half of that shit to the government. And now, unless Tony Moore gonna go to the Supreme Court, tell the senators to give us 100,000 each tax free. Okay, that's different. But you're gonna pay taxes somehow. So what you gonna do? Buy a house in America after you get that big money? Then the system crash and then your house is gone. What you gonna do? Buy a new car? You know you got to buy a new car. I'll buy a new car. Let me just illustrate. If somebody give me $100,000, I'm got to get a new car. This just you can't even. That's America. But the money gone. Look at Mike Tyson. My God, he blew all that money. Look at Holyfield. My God, the man was buying a mansion. He must have thought he was gonna be boxing forever. Money gone. Even us in the chat, even you in the chat room, you know you got some big money some 1 or 2 times, and poof, it's gone. You can't even look back and see what you spent it on. Hell, I had a U-Haul storage bin. I was forced to buy a U-Haul storage bin because I had so much junk, and I didn't want to get rid of it. So I was paying a monthly fee on junk. The tipping point will come when enough of us Africans minded, active in our continent. Most importantly, we will be free of polar man, woman mentality. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The tipping point comes, each one of us makes that decision to say, I'm out. Because the only way to defeat racism, and racism is just about economics. It's about economic oppression, keeping the money from us. It's giving us enough to survive, and keep us in debt, and that's it. When we try to expand, they take it away from us. That's why I'm saying when you go and look at those pictures of all those brothers that was hanged in the 60s and the 50s, look at them. Many of them are in suits and ties because they was business owners. And they drove them out of business because they didn't want them to be other blacks that aspire to do business like they were doing, and then they'd be independent of whites. This is the secret that they don't want to tell you. The tipping point is something. Yeah. Rashid M. Hello, Grandmaster. How are you, my friend? T. Africa is calling a lot of us. I'm going to let me hurry up and finish up and get to where you are, T. Africa couldn't call before Africa was being oppressed herself. Exactly. You come get in this chair, man. You too. You and Kwaku, come sit over here in this chair because you should be teaching me. Because I'm telling you, you're right. You're right on time. We're right on time. Okay, so let me get finished up. Everything comes down to the money. That's what we got to be real about. Everything comes down to the money. ADOS at some point going to ask you for money. Just like the Million Man March asked you for money 15 times during that day. People run around with bags of money. Where did that money go? Is the question of the day. After they talked and spoke all those days on the March on Washington, on the Million Man March 1, Million Man March 2, Million Women March, all they do is pass around. They can't help themselves. They see them big, they collect all that money, and you listen to those speeches, and then what happens to the money? Does it help us economically? Hell, the nation can't even quell the shootings in Chicago, and that's the headquarters of the Nation of Islam. I want to talk bad about the nation now. Let me stop. The problem with the Nation of Islam is that they take the most militant black man, take the gun out of his hand, and put a bean pie in it. That's the problem with the nation. They take the most militant black man, take the gun out of his hand, and put a bean pie in it. Dress him up nice with a bow tie. Whew. You know, can't put him in some sharp suits, bow tie, and then send him out on the street and start selling until you get tired. Everything comes down to the money. As I have told you many times on this channel, I can't run this show without your support. I couldn't do this. I'm getting support from you. And that's good. That's why we're here today, because people like Ajiba and Chris Hamilton and Evalyne have supported the channel because they've listened and said, okay, this is going somewhere. And where is this going? You see? I'm going to show you why this channel is different than other channels. You can go watch O'Shea's channel, that's good. Dan's channel, you can learn about Nigeria and follow the prince. You can go to African Tiger, she has wonderful videos. You can go to African Superstar, she got nice shows. Yeah, but where is the action for us to take? After I finish that show, what's the hope of my situation being changed in America? What will you get for your investment? And you see, if you knew me, you know I can't even get on the show because me, I'm Amin Ra. When I became Amin Ra, my whole life was dedicated towards black people. Go look at my Facebook page. It's from 2008. All my work is black people. In the US, improving black people's lives. And in Kenya, the same. In South Africa, the same. That's what drove me to end up being here. I think. Z. Many NOI members, ex-dope peddlers and gangsters, I used to work for the minister, so I know them well and never would join. I have very close relationships. I even trained the FOI, and how to fight. And I had great dealings with them, good brothers. It's the problem is where you go from what's going to happen to you in the nation. You see, where it's going to take you. I mean, if the nation was serious and not compromised, then every black man that come in the nation should have a job or some sort of business that they work. Streets selling things, nothing. And them fish companies would still be strong today. The African who made the most sense to me is Kwame Nkrumah, who had, if they're investing in what one has, which or Black organization has survived with this serious help. So, like I said, I'm about something that's going to be worthwhile for us. Now, the home doesn't go up in value as fast as they try to make you think every. I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make it understand where people are mean. That's most of the new generation of the old one, more cool. Yeah, well, I don't know old ones, and they was. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm seeing keyboard. Yeah, well, poor lady was saying is true. The idea that I have is that we a campsite to Kenya. Now we developed this campsite and it have a lot of different it'll list. And from the village it can people that say want to cut us off, I'll come back again. I'll come back on. But I am calling for a development of want to cut us off, I'll come back on. But I am calling for a development of most people that are in group, and it takes time. We set all up and we develop a camp where if you come to Kenya, you have a guide for the camp. Move out from. Mission of the camp would be to grow size, move out from. Mission of the camp would be to grow size to develop a village. We could fill acres. I got a big stretch of land, and so in such a place. You know, when we start this, and but I say Mumbai is good, and all year round is good. Crazy.